Hello everybody, this is Malt. Welcome back to another Satisfactory video. I started out doing logistics videos, made a few other things, but I really like doing logistics. It's one of my favorite things in Satisfactory. And I'm not always the biggest fan of a manifold system when you're running a lot of items because they're harder to balance and harder to get working right, and sometimes less efficient than trying to build a load balancer. But load balancers tend to take up a lot more space, and they tend to be problematic in terms of design and how you put belts. You wind up missing things. It's just a little bit more challenging to build them, and manifolds just look better. I talked about reasons why you might want to choose one or the other in a very early video, but I was recently playing with some mods on a friend of mine's modded server and realized that manifolds can be controlled a little bit better if you have control of how many items are split out of each splitter in the main manifold chain. And then that got me thinking about what is the real limiting factor. So I'll talk about how a manifold works. And here I've used Mk.6 Belts on each side. So each splitter accepts whatever number of items, in this case 1200. We're going to be fueling this in a sec with a fully overclocked 1200 items per minute Mk.3 miner. So as fast as we can deliver items into this manifold. But as we split them out, each time we're going to be dividing by 3. The first time we hit this splitter, we're going to have 1200 items, and each way is going to get 400 items. All right, so 400 to the left, 400 to the right, 400 to the next splitter. When we get to this splitter, we're going to have 400 items divided by 3, which is going to give us 133 1/3, right, as you go along. Now I've got this set up so it should be able to consume 1200 items per minute, but by the time you get to this point, you go from 1.6, and if I divide by 3 again, I'm only getting half an item per minute. So for every minute, maybe not even one thing comes through. It's going to take you, 20 minutes to get one item in that. So getting a manifold to fill up from using the high-end belt is pretty slow. And what I realized is if you could limit the number of items coming out of these belts and into the smelters themselves, you wouldn't have to be dividing by 3, but instead you could subtract it off. So I built another system where I use Mk.1 belts. So if you'll notice, I've got these overclocked to where they take 60 items per minute, which is what a Mk.1 belt can deliver. So what we're going to see is that when I turn these on, it's going to fill up really fast. This is what I'm going to recommend for building manifolds. This is what I'm doing now, trying to match the items per minute here as much as possible. Even if I have to underclock, I could go higher, right? But I don't have a belt that matches that. So this is going to be a really efficient setup in terms of number of items per minute and how quickly it shifts on and off if you've got the need to do that. Right now I'm blocking these with smart splitters, and I'm just going to copy the settings for this one, which is open in the middle, and I'm going to paste it into each one of these, and you're going to see which one fills up first. So we'll go really fast. 3, 2, 1, and we're off. So as you can see on the left, the first few have filled up, whereas on the right, almost all of them have gone white. That means all of them are processing. All but that last one, and there it goes. Another thing that you'll notice with these smelters is because they're delivering 60 items per minute, they're not going to build up an excess. And one of the forms of waste is queuing an excess. So these are going to stay at one item. They're going to be processed as soon as they come in, and they're going to be spit out as soon as they get made. Which means these manifolds, the outbound manifolds, don't have a chance to get backed up either, which is really nice. Even though these belts can deliver 60 items per minute, sometimes when they get hit, they'll just bounce an item, and those are going into the overflow here. So remember that speed is not throughput, and throughput is not speed. This still hasn't reached all the way to the end. A few items maybe have made it to the end, but they're barely getting anything, and then they stay idle most of the time. Whereas these have a big backup queue of items, and they're only able to burn them just as fast as they get them, or just as fast as they were before, right? So I can't actually deliver the items fast enough. So it'll take a very, very long time before this completely fills up and is running at full capacity. And you can see, based on my throughput monitors here, this is still not up. This is at 760, and this is already running at maximum. There you go. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give the video a like, and please subscribe. Make a comment. Have some thoughts. I'd love to hear them. As always, thank you very much for showing up, and I hope you enjoyed it.